Welcome, dear friends, to tonight's bedtime story. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let the stars above guide you into dreams. Each story is filled with magic, kindness, and wonder. Now, snuggle in and let's begin. Tonight's story, Beauty and the Beast, begins in a quiet village where a kind girl named Beauty loves stories and dreams. When her father vanishes into a mysterious castle, Beauty bravely steps inside to save him. There, she meets a fearsome beast, but behind his roar, a gentle heart is waiting to be discovered. Once upon a time, a kind merchant lived with his 3 daughters. The youngest was named Beauty. She was gentle, cheerful, and loved reading books and helping others. Unlike her sisters, who wished for jewels and fine clothes, Beauty cared most about kindness and love. One day, the merchant lost all his ships in a storm. His family became very poor, and they moved to a small cottage in the countryside. Beauty worked hard to keep the house tidy and cheerful. Though her sisters complained, Beauty always smiled and encouraged her father. One morning, the merchant heard that one of his ships might have returned. He prepared to travel to the city. He asked his daughters what gifts they wanted. The eldest wished for fine clothes. The second asked for pearls. But Beauty only said, "Please bring me a single rose, for they are hard to find here." One cold evening, the merchant lost his way in the forest. Snow fell thick and fast as he searched for shelter. At last, he saw a grand castle glowing with golden light. The gates opened as if by magic, and he stepped inside. The halls were silent but beautiful, with candles shining and music faintly echoing through the air. On the long dining table lay a feast fit for a king. Warm bread, sweet cakes, fruits, and sparkling drinks. The fire crackled, and the plates seemed to wait just for him. Hungry and tired, he sat down and ate gratefully, not knowing that eyes were watching him from the shadows of the castle. The next morning, before leaving, the merchant walked through the castle gardens. There he saw beautiful roses and remembered Beauty's wish. He plucked one for her, but at that moment, a loud roar filled the air. A great beast appeared, his face fierce and sorrowful. "You are ungrateful," thundered the beast. "I gave you food and shelter, and you steal my roses?" The merchant trembled with fear. The beast's eyes softened slightly. "I will spare you," he said, "if you promise to send your daughter, who asked for the rose, to live here instead." The merchant returned home in despair. He told his daughters what had happened and gave Beauty the rose. Her sisters shrieked and hid, but Beauty said calmly, "Father, do not fear. I will go to the beast, for it was my wish that caused this trouble." Her courage amazed them all. Beauty arrived at the castle and entered the great hall. The beast appeared, tall and frightening, but he spoke gently to her. "Do not be afraid," he said. "You are safe here." Though his face was fearsome, his voice was kind. Beauty bowed politely and thanked him. Days passed, and Beauty explored the castle's many rooms. She found a library filled with books, gardens filled with flowers, and magical mirrors that showed her father was safe. Beauty spoke kindly to the beast and listened when he told his stories. She laughed at his little jokes and shared her own tales of home. The castle, once cold and quiet, began to fill with gentle laughter and light. Slowly, Beauty began to see beyond his frightening face and noticed the kindness in his eyes. As the days passed, Beauty understood something more. The beast was not cruel. He was simply lonely. No one had ever looked past his appearance to see the good heart within. Beauty's heart felt warm with care, and she wished she could fill the beast's days with the joy of friendship. One night, Beauty dreamed that her father was sick and calling for her. She begged the beast to let her visit him. The beast sighed, but agreed. "Go to your father, but return to me within a week, or I shall surely die of sorrow." Beauty promised and hurried home. Beauty's father was overjoyed to see her. She cared for him tenderly until he grew well again. But her jealous sisters grew angry when they saw her dressed in fine clothes from the castle. They begged her to stay longer, hoping the beast would be angry. At last, Beauty remembered her promise. She hurried back to the castle, but found the halls silent and dark. In the garden, she saw the beast lying weak and still on the ground. "Oh, beast," she cried, kneeling beside him, "do not leave me. I want to stay with you forever." At her words, the beast opened his eyes. A golden light surrounded him, and before Beauty's eyes, he transformed into a handsome prince. "Your love has broken the curse," he said. "I was trapped in this form until someone saw my heart and cared for me." Beauty's tears turned to joy. The prince asked Beauty once more, "Will you marry me?" This time, Beauty smiled and said, "Yes." Soon, a grand wedding was held at the castle. Beauty's father came to live with them, and her sisters learned to be kinder. Beauty and the Beast, now a prince, lived happily ever after. And so, Beauty learned that true kindness can see the heart hidden within. With that, our story comes to an end. May your dreams be filled with kindness and wonder. Good night, little dreamers. Until next time, sweet dreams under the stars.